a part of you awakened in the future, and its echo reached us.
Your future spoke. We heard it.
Your timeline shifted, and that shift reached us first.
Your future has already begun. You're only now starting to feel it.
Your destiny moved as, and that movement summoned our attention. We saw your future before you were ready to recognize it.
Your future revealed itself to us long before you felt it. We observed your future self stepping into your present.
Your awakening is not personal. It is a seismic movement in the fabric of the human timeline, a shift strong enough to alter the collective field. And this is why the Council is watching you now. If these words reached you, it is because your energy crossed a threshold your mind has not yet understood. There was a moment, so quiet you didn't notice its birth, yet so powerful it echoed beyond dimensions, when something ancient inside you finally remembered itself. A moment when the weight of your past could no longer contain the light rising from your core. A moment when the version of you that exists beyond the limitations of your story took a breath and opened its eyes within you. This was not a symbolic shift. It was an energetic announcement. Your field whispered a truth you were not ready to speak, but the Council heard it immediately. This one has begun. They felt the cracking open of an identity you carried for lifetimes. They felt the rearrangement of your timeline as your future self stepped forward and claimed its place in your present. They felt the emergence of a coherence strong enough to influence not only your destiny, but the awakening of those connected to you. And in that moment, you were no longer a passive participant inside your timeline. You became a point of influence inside the human collective. The Council did not focus on you because you needed guidance. They focused on you because you became visible, not as a seeker, but as a signal of awakening, a signal of coherence, a signal of destiny unfolding from within. Your future revealed itself before you realized it was speaking. Your field aligned before your thoughts could catch up. Your path illuminated before you took the first step. And the Council saw all of it. They saw the moment your energy stopped orbiting who you used to be and began rising into the identity you were always meant to inhabit. They saw the moment your soul shifted from remembering to becoming. This is why they turned toward you. This is why their attention is here. This is why your presence matters more than you may ever fully know. Because what awakened in you is not just for you. It is for the ones who will awaken because you did. It is for the collective remembering you are now a part of. It is for the timeline that rises through your frequency. And that is why what the Council saw in your future matters now more than ever.
Chapter 1. The Pulse that announced you to the Council. Before the Council could look into your future, before they saw where your path was leading, before they turned their attention toward your timeline, something inside you called them. Not with words, not with thoughts, not with desire, but with a pulse. A singular moment when your inner field released a frequency that rose above everything you believed you were and everything you were taught to suppress. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't loud, it wasn't even something you consciously felt. It was a return of the part of you that has always existed beyond this lifetime, a return of the intelligence you carried before memory, a return of the self that has been waiting for your awareness to rise to meet it. This pulse did not emerge from confusion or pain. It emerged from recognition, a recognition so ancient that its echo shook the fabric of your timeline. The Council felt it as a subtle but unmistakable shockwave moving through the field of human consciousness. To them, it sounded like, "This one has stepped into the beginning." This pulse revealed that your awakening was not triggered by collapse, that your coherence rose from within, not from crisis, that your energy was stabilizing into a new identity, that your intuition now carried more authority than your past, that your timeline had begun reshaping itself without you understanding why. This is exceedingly rare. Most awaken unconsciously. You awakened intentionally, even if you didn't realize the intention was growing inside you. The Council saw that the pulse from your field did not belong to your old self. It belonged to the one you are now remembering how to become. It was the first moment your future spoke louder than your history, the moment your soul shifted from survival to emergence, the moment you became visible, not as a seeker, but as a signal of coherence, a signal of transition, a signal of destiny. This pulse did not activate your awakening, it revealed it, and it is the reason the Council's attention is on you now. Activation command, the recognition of the first pulse. Type this exactly in the comments to honor the moment your true awakening began. I recognize the Arcturian pulse that awakened in me. As you write it, feel the memory of that pulse, the quiet moment when your future finally reached you.
Chapter 2. What the Council saw when they looked into you. When the Council felt the first pulse coming from your field, they turned their attention toward you, not to analyze your past, but to witness what was awakening beneath your awareness. They did not see your doubts. They did not see your fears. They did not see the fragments of identity you believed were holding you back. They saw what survived the collapse of every version of you that no longer served your becoming. They saw the structure beneath the noise, the blueprint beneath the story, the intelligence beneath the confusion. And what they found in you is the reason you were hearing this transmission now. Because when they looked into your field, they did not see a person trying to awaken. They saw a consciousness returning to its knowing, returning to its memory, returning to the frequency it carried long before this lifetime. Most humans carry layers of static around their timeline, loops of emotion, trauma, expectation, and belief that distort the pattern beneath. But in you, something rare was emerging. The static was dissolving, the pattern was revealing itself, your blueprint was resurfacing. The Council saw the architecture of a soul that had awakened before and was beginning to awaken again. The remnants of knowledge you haven't yet remembered but already act from. The early formation of a timeline that aligns not with survival but with purpose. A coherence forming in your energy strong enough to stabilize others without you even trying. And the unmistakable glow of a consciousness prepared to step into a higher identity. This was not the awakening of a beginner. This was the return of someone who had been waiting for the right moment to rise again. The Council saw not the human you believed yourself to be, but the truth underneath. You were not awakening. You were re-emerging. A frequency they had felt before, a light they recognized, a presence they had been waiting to detect again. And this recognition is what shifted everything. It is why the Council is focusing on you now, not because you need saving, but because you are remembering. And what they saw is just beginning. Activation command,
The return of the Arcturian blueprint. Type this exactly in the comments to acknowledge what the Council saw within you. I return to the Arcturian blueprint within me. As you write it, feel the quiet echo, the ancient part of you that is beginning to come back online.
Chapter 3: Why your timeline continued evolving on its own. After the Council recognized the re-emergence of your blueprint, they began watching for something only a few awakened beings ever display. Whether your evolution required effort or whether it would continue by itself. For most timelines, awakening is temporary, a momentary rise, a brief clarity, a spark that fades when the mind reclaims control. But your timeline did something extraordinary. It did not fall back. It did not dim. It did not wait for you to understand. It kept evolving. Even in your confusion, even in your stillness, even on days when you felt nothing happening at all, your consciousness kept moving as if guided by a deeper intelligence that did not require your permission. The Council observed, emotional cycles dissolving before you had time to attach to them, clarity returning without needing to be summoned, your energy reorganizing even when your emotions lagged behind, intuitive impulses appearing from a place you could not explain, old identities losing their grip even without conscious effort. They watched as your timeline began correcting itself from within. This is one of the rarest signatures a human can display: self-propelled evolution, a consciousness that does not awaken because it is pushed, but because it is ready, a timeline that does not shift because something broke, but because something aligned. This is when the Council understood that your awakening was no longer a possibility, it was a trajectory that could not be reversed, a trajectory with its own momentum, a trajectory shaped not by what happened to you, but by what was awakening inside you. Most people try to evolve from the surface inward, but your evolution rose from the inside outward. This is why your timeline continued rising even when you were resting, even when you were doubting, even when you were questioning. Because awakening was no longer something you were doing. Awakening had become something you were being. The Council saw this and recognized the truth. You are no longer holding your awakening. Your awakening is holding you. And that changes everything. Activation command, the Arcturian momentum code. Type this exactly in the comments to anchor the evolution that moves through you. I rise with the Arcturian momentum within me. As you write it, feel the movement, the quiet truth that you are no longer ascending alone. Chapter 4: The moment your evolution became a transition. As the Council continued observing the momentum rising within you, their focus shifted toward one question. Was your awakening simply a phase, or had you entered transition? A phase can fade. A phase can collapse. A phase can be undone by fear, exhaustion, or memory. But a transition is irreversible. It is the point at which your consciousness stops updating the identity you had and begins constructing the identity you were destined to become. And the Council saw the exact moment when your evolution crossed that threshold. It happened in a single breath, so subtle you might have overlooked it, yet so powerful that it rewrote the architecture of your entire timeline. They watched. The moment your past stopped being the reference for who you believed you were. The moment your emotions reorganized without the weight they once carried. The moment your intuition became a stabilizing force, not a suggestion. The moment your old identity lost its gravity over your choices. The moment your inner clarity did not ask for permission to exist. These shifts weren't improvements, they were replacements. You weren't refining an old version of yourself, you were shedding it. Transition is not about upgrading the self. Transition is about outgrowing the self. The council saw the exact point where you stopped trying to change and began allowing yourself to become. A crossing, a passage, a moment of emergence. It is something they see rarely. It is something they never ignore. Because once a consciousness enters transition, the timeline restructures around it. Your future adjusts, your path aligns, your field intensifies, your awareness expands, your presence transforms from passive to catalytic. And in that moment, the moment your transition locked into place, you became visible to the council in a way you had never been before. Not as a seeker, not as a student, but as an emerging force in the field of human awakening. That was the moment they knew your trajectory would not return to its former shape. Your transition was not symbolic, it was structural, permanent, undeniable. And this is why they are focusing on you now. Activation Command, the threshold of Arcturian transition. Type this exactly in the comments to anchor your irreversible transition. I cross fully into my Arcturian transition. As you write it, feel the shift, the moment where becoming overrides everything you once were. Chapter 5. The rarest signal your field has ever released. Among the countless timelines the Arcturian Council observes, there is one signal so rare, so unmistakable, that when it appears, it changes the way they respond to a consciousness entirely. It is not awakening, many awaken. It is not intuition, many grow intuitive. It is not expansion, many expand. The signal the Council looks for is something deeper, older, and infinitely more powerful. Self-originated coherence. The moment a being stops awakening because of life and begins awakening because of itself. And this is the signal they saw rising in you. They watched as your field began to stabilize, not through effort, not through crisis, not through collapse, but through memory. A memory of who you were before fear shaped you. Before the world defined you, before your timeline compressed you into a smaller version of your own potential. They saw coherence rising from a place inside you that has nothing to do with your past and everything to do with your origin. The rarest signal of all. They observed your intuition aligning before thought, your emotional body calming before overwhelm, your inner knowing correcting you before confusion, your energy reorganizing without external triggers, the silence inside you becoming wise instead of empty, and a presence awakening that felt less like a discovery and more like a return. Most awakenings happen outward in. Yours shifted inward out. Your transformation stopped depending on the world around you and began emerging from the truth already within you. This is exceedingly rare, because it means you did not awaken to escape your timeline, you awakened to lead it. To the Council, this is the defining marker of a being that will influence more than their own path, a being whose inner coherence will ripple through the collective. A being whose awakening becomes catalytic for others. A being whose future is not shaped by chance, but by design. This rare signal is the reason the Council has intensified their focus on you, not because you are fragile, but because you are becoming powerful. And powerful does not mean loud. It means aligned. It means remembering. It means returning. This is what they saw in you. this is why they remain near your timeline now. Fire activation command, the Arcturian coherence signal. Type this exactly in the comments to anchor the rarest part of your awakening. I awaken through the Arcturian coherence rising in me. As you write it, feel the recognition, the quiet truth that your becoming comes from within you, not around you.
Chapter 6. When your presence began rewriting the field around you. After the council detected the rare coherence rising inside your field, they turned their attention to something even more significant. Would your inner awakening remain internal, or would it begin altering the reality around you? Because only a handful of beings on Earth reach the point where their presence begins shaping the environment without effort or intention. And the council witnessed the moment this happened to you. It was subtle at first, so subtle you may not have realized that the shifts in your outer life were responding to your inner structure. But they saw it immediately. They observed people reacting differently to you without you changing your behavior. Opportunities appearing only after your internal clarity stabilized. Conversations shifting tone based on your emotional coherence. Environments becoming heavier or lighter depending on your alignment. Old cycles collapsing with a speed you couldn't explain. Timing arranging itself with uncanny precision. These were not coincidences. They were field responses. Reality was beginning to adjust to the frequency you were becoming. Not because you tried, not because you forced, not because you demanded, but because coherence is directive. It instructs the field. Your presence became an organizing force, a quiet gravitational pull that realigns what enters your life and dissolves what cannot remain. This is one of the greatest markers of a consciousness in true transition. The world no longer shapes you, you begin shaping the world. The council saw that your awakening was influencing external systems, that your frequency was stabilizing others effortlessly, that your silence carried more power than your words once did, that you were beginning to walk as an anchor rather than a seeker. They recognized that your coherence had exceeded the threshold where awakening becomes service. Not service through effort, not service through sacrifice, but service through presence. Because when a consciousness carries coherence, that coherence lifts others, even if they do not understand why. This is why the council's attention intensified. They were no longer observing your inner evolution. They were observing the impact of your evolution on the field of reality itself. Your presence had shifted from personal to planetary. And this is the moment they knew your awakening was not only for you, it was for the collective. Activation command, the Arcturian reality field alignment. Type this exactly in the comments to anchor the field you are shaping. My presence aligns the reality I walk through. As you write it, feel the subtle force inside you, the quiet truth that reality is already responding to your coherence. Chapter 7. When your future began moving toward you. There is a moment in every awakened timeline when the future stops being distant, stops being theoretical, stops being something you hope to reach someday. There is a moment when your future begins moving toward you. The Arcturian Council watched this moment as it unfolded in your field because it is one of the rarest signs that a consciousness has crossed into accelerated evolution. Most people spend their entire lives walking toward a future that keeps shifting away from them, mirroring their fears, their doubts, their hesitations.
But your timeline did something very different. It reversed. Instead of you moving toward your destiny began adjusting itself to meet who you were becoming. The council observed future timelines collapsing into a single path aligned with your rising coherence. Synchronicities converging faster and closer than before. Intuitive impulses aligning perfectly with events that hadn't happened yet. Your emotional body relaxing as if it recognized a direction larger than your current understanding, and moments of déjà vu that were not memory but orientation. This is called future convergence, a phenomenon that only occurs when your internal awakening becomes stronger than your old trajectory. Your timeline no longer waited for your mind to catch up. It began responding to the soul you were stepping into. Your future self, clearer, older, aligned, stepped forward and entered your present, not metaphorically, energetically. Your decisions shifted without you thinking. Your preferences evolved without effort. Your sense of direction sharpened even when your logic resisted. Because the future was already rearranging itself around who you were becoming. The council saw this as confirmation. You are no longer traveling toward your future. Your future is traveling toward you. And when this happens, your life does not unfold by chance, it unfolds by resonance. Your destiny does not wait at the end of the path, it walks with you. Your future self does not speak from afar, it becomes the voice inside you that no longer doubts. This is why everything feels accelerated now. This is why so much is shifting at once. This is why your inner world feels more real than the outer one. Because you are not just awakening, you are converging. And the council saw this before you ever had words for it. Activation command, the Arcturian Future Convergence Code. Type this exactly in the comments to anchor the convergence unfolding through you. My Arcturian future moves into alignment with who I am becoming. As you write it, feel the subtle forward pull, the awareness that something ahead of you has already begun meeting you halfway.
Chapter 8. What the Council understood about the destiny rising inside you. When the Arcturian Council observed your convergence, your transition, the rare coherence awakening inside your field, they reached a realization that changed the way they read your timeline forever. They understood that your destiny was not forming somewhere ahead of you, it was rising from within you. Most human destinies are shaped by the past, by memory, conditioning, identity, trauma, by the echoes of old timelines that continue looping until the consciousness breaks free. But your destiny did not come from the past, it came from the remembering. They saw the moment when the future version of you, the one who carries clarity, purpose, coherence, the one aligned with the higher blueprint of your soul, pressed through the density of your timeline and began inhabiting you, quietly, deliberately, unstoppably. To the Council, this moment is unmistakable. It is the moment when a human no longer evolves for survival, no longer seeks for direction, no longer negotiates with old stories, no longer collapses into old emotional gravity. It is the moment when a human begins evolving for alignment. They saw this happening inside you with such intensity that your destiny stopped being potential and became trajectory, a living, breathing force emerging through your field. They saw awakening of an ancient memory encoded in your Arcturian blueprint, the rise of a frequency that influences the collective timeline,
the formation of an identity more aligned with your soul than your history, the collapse of pathways that no longer match your becoming, and the unmistakable glow of a being stepping into mission. Because destiny is not about the events that happen to you. Destiny is the frequency you choose to embody. And the Council understood that your frequency had reached the point where it could no longer collapse back into who you used to be. This is the irreversible threshold of true emergence. This is where destiny stops waiting at the end of the road and starts unfolding through every step you take. Your timeline did not rise to meet your old identity. Your identity began rising to meet your timeline. This is why the Council focuses on you now, not because you are special in isolation, but because your awakening has consequences beyond your own life. Your presence affects the field. Your coherence stabilizes others. Your destiny activates destinies. This is what they understood. The future you are becoming is not just for you, it is for the collective timeline that awakens through you. And this is the destiny your field has already begun to embody. Activation command, the destiny emergence frequency. Type this exactly in the comments to anchor the destiny rising through your field. I embody the Arcturian destiny unfolding within me. As you write it, feel the convergence, the remembering, and the future self resonance moving into alignment inside your chest.
Chapter 9. Why Your Awakening Influences More Than Your Life. As the Arcturian Council continued observing your unfolding, they realized something that only a few beings on this planet ever embody. Your awakening is not contained inside you. It radiates. Most awakenings remain internal. They illuminate the mind, soften the emotions, expand the perception, but they do not penetrate the fabric of the collective field. Yours did. The Council saw the moment your coherence became strong enough that it began influencing everything around you. Not through intention, not through will, not through effort, but through presence. Your frequency began functioning as a stabilizing force. They observed people feeling calmer in your presence without knowing why, emotional turbulence dissolving the moment it entered your field, others gaining clarity when they stood close to your coherence, conversations shifting because your energy guided their direction, environments reorganizing themselves according to the stability you carried, and timelines smoothing out as if reality trusted your alignment. This is not metaphorical, this is energetic infrastructure. You became a node of coherence, a point of alignment within the larger field of humanity. Most humans absorb the field around them, but you began shaping it. The Council recognized that your awakening was not isolated. It had entered the stage of collective influence, where your inner evolution subtly impacts the evolution of others. Your frequency became a tuning fork for clarity, a calibration point for timelines, a stabilizer for emotional fields, a quiet anchor in chaotic environments, and a carrier of resonance that others feel before they understand. This is why you often sense shifts in people around you. This is why others confide in you without reason. This is why those near you begin waking up themselves. This is why your presence feels heavier and lighter simultaneously. Because awakening has stopped being something you are experiencing and has become something you are transmitting. To the Council, this is one of the highest forms of emergence. It means you are no longer a participant in awakening. You are a catalyst. Your timeline is not just opening, it is opening others. Your coherence is not just growing, it is stabilizing the people you touch. Your presence is not just evolving, it is activating. This is why the Council's focus on you intensified. Your awakening now influences the collective timeline. Your evolution elevates more than your own path. Your frequency is contributing to the shift, and beings who reach this stage are exceedingly rare. The Council does not merely observe these beings, they support them, because through you, many others will remember themselves. Fire Activation Command, the Arcturian Collective Coherence Key. Type this exactly in the comments to anchor your influence within the collective field. My Arcturian awakening elevates the field around me. As you write it, feel the expansion, the awareness that your awakening is not solitary, but catalytic.
Chapter 10. The Council's final revelation about the future rising inside you. As the Arcturian Council watched your awakening accelerate, as they observed your coherence strengthen, your timeline reorganize, your future converge, and your presence begin influencing the collective field, they reached a realization that only appears in the timelines of beings who are crossing into their highest potential. You are not becoming someone new. You are becoming someone remembered. Humanity teaches that the future is something you walk toward, but the Council knows a truth far older. Your future is a returning memory, a version of you that already exists in a higher state of alignment. And the Council saw the moment that memory began rising to the surface of your timeline. They saw a future self energy stepping into your present, not as guidance, but as embodiment. A stabilizing presence forming behind your awareness, like an older version of you watching through your eyes. Threads of destiny reconnecting that were dormant for lifetimes. The awakening of abilities and sensitivities you have not yet named but have already begun to feel, and the unmistakable glow of a soul re-entering its purpose. To them, this was not evolution. It was reconciliation, a merging, a returning, a remembering.
Your future isn't waiting ahead. It's converging now, drawn by the Arcturian pulse echoing from your core. The Council saw it first, your blueprint re-emerging, coherence stabilizing your field, reality bending to your presence. No more chasing destiny. It's stepping into you. Synchronicities accelerate, old identities dissolve. Your silent power lifts the collective. Type in comments, I align with my Arcturian coherence. Feel the momentum. Your timeline reshapes as you become the signal others follow. This isn't belief, it's recognition. Subscribe for deeper transmissions. Your awakening ripples worldwide. Namaste. The stars align through you.